Well, let's join now the former Manchester United defender, Denis Irwin, who joins us to give us his reaction. Denis, very good afternoon to you. So the appointment has finally been confirmed. Are you happy that they've gone with Ten Hag?
Yeah, more than happy. He's an exciting appointment. The style of football that he's played at Ajax over the last 4.5 years is great to watch. Huge success in Holland alone, but also on the European stage. You've mentioned the 2018-2019 European campaign. But even this year, winning six games in the group stage and a bit unlucky to go out to Benfica. So an exciting appointment, and I think all the fans are right behind it.
He's had great success in the Netherlands, as you touched on there, but he's yet to manage in the Premier League. He's going to get his taste of that come August in a few months' time. But does that really matter that he hasn't managed in this league before?
No, we've seen other managers come in and do exceptionally well. Jurgen Klopp, Pep Guardiola, they've come in and been very, very successful. And yeah, it might take time. I think there's an overhaul due in terms of the first team squad. And we need a bit of patience as well. I don't think, best case scenario, will be challenging, hopefully in 2 or 3 years' time for the league. But I'm excited by the style of football. Seems a very honest, hard-working manager. Probably have to go back to basics and get some determination within that squad, some hunger, and really looking forward to the beginning of the season.
Yeah, you mentioned patience there, and it's a phrase that Gary Neville, who we spoke to a few minutes ago, mentioned as well, about giving him time to build the foundations, not putting too much pressure on him first up to bring success. Top 4 should be his aim, but at a club of this size, with its history and the expectations, even despite the last few seasons, will he get that time?
Yeah, I think he will. I think there's no guarantee of success. I think a lot of clubs know that. You have to earn the right for that. And over the last couple of seasons, it's been a hard watching United, particularly over the last couple of months. And even within that, the last couple of weeks, couple of visits to Merseyside. So, yeah, I think the fans, will support him, give him plenty of time. I think everybody knows this is quite a big task on hand, a big overhaul of the first team, as I say. You could have almost, 5, 6, 7, 8 players going in the summer, and obviously a couple of recruitments coming in as well. I think next 2 or 3 transfer windows are vitally important. But I think he will be given time, and I think the club know that. I think the fans know that. And it's not going to be an overnight case of success. Yeah, you can always win a cup, but in terms of winning Premier Leagues, it might take 2 or 3 seasons to even challenge for that. So I think he'll get plenty of that. I think the fans are excited. They're looking forward to, it's a first manager really hands-on on the football field as well. He's honest. He spoke to ex-players who've worked with him. Very determined, knows what he wants, and really looking forward to him joining the club.
And you touched on recruitment just then, and everybody who's spoken about this today has talked about the size of the task in hand in terms of recruitment for Ten Hag when he takes over. And Ralf Rangnick saying only a few days ago that 10 new signings might be needed. Is it that kind of size of a job when it comes to recruitment?
I think it could be. Presumably meant 10 signings over the next 2 or 3 windows. I think the first couple of players are very, very important. His first signings that hopefully will come in the summer. He needs backing. I think there's no doubt about that. It looks like there's going to be quite a few players leaving the club. So it is a bit of an overhaul. If you were really critical of the club over the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years, it is the recruitment policy. It's not been great. So I think that the next 2 or 3 signings are vitally important to get him up and running again. But, he's done a great job at Ajax. He's lost players there, the likes of Ziyech and De Ligt and De Jong. And managed to rebuild as well, and be very positive in what he's done. And I think going forward, I think next season after, I think that's really good to look forward to.
And you won't be surprised to hear this, that when we spoke to Gary Neville a short time ago, Denis, that he wasn't backward in coming forward. When talking about the changing room at United, he went as far as saying that for him at the moment, it's broken. As a low for your former club, is this as low a time as you can remember at Manchester United?
I think so. Obviously, under Sir Alex, we had huge success right up to 8 years ago, 9 years ago. I think this is the 5th permanent manager. It's been a whoever followed Sir Alex always had the hardest job, but we've had experienced managers in there. We've won cups. Last 5 years we've won nothing. Not really challenged in the Premier League as well. And particularly this season and the last few months, it's really been a hard watch. So you have to agree with Gary that, yeah, it's probably been the lowest point since I joined United in 1990.
You won 8 league titles during your career. How big a job has he got on his hands in terms of turning United back into a trophy-winning side?
Well, it's a big job, but I think the club feel that he's more than capable of doing it. We are one of the biggest clubs in the world. If you go to the Far East, if you go to America, and we're on TV, we'll get the most viewers. We've got something romantic about us. We've got a fantastic history of the club. Very much at the forefront of the Premier League. But you have to hold your hands up and be honest and say the last few years have been difficult, and it's time for change, not just in the managerial appointment, I think in around it as well. And I think going forward, you've seen a bit of that already by the looks of it, and going forward, you'll probably see more. So it's almost like a kind of rebuild within the club, and I think it's needed as well. He needs time. I think that's the main thing. He needs time. The club knows that. The fans know that. Anybody within the club knows that. And I think he'll get time. But it's an exciting time for the club as well, I got to say that.
And the backroom staff always of key interest when a new manager is coming in. It looks like he's going to be bringing Mitchell van der Gaag, his number 2 at Ajax, with him, which makes sense. But in terms of bringing in some familiar faces, perhaps, the likes of Robin van Persie, Steve McLaren, Rennie Mullenstein, all linked with possibly having a role in that backroom staff. How important might that be for him to have someone who's familiar with the workings of Old Trafford?
Well, that's up to the manager to decide what he wants. I've no doubt he'll bring 1 or 2 in from Ajax, his coaching squad, his coaches that he's worked with in the last few years. And then going forward, it's up to him whether he wants somebody who's an ex-Manchester United player or somebody who knows the Premier League or some coach that knows the Premier League. We'll have to wait and see on that. But at the moment, obviously, he's got a job to finish at Ajax and probably no more going forward in a couple of months' time.
You played alongside Erik Cantona, known as King Erik, during his time at Old Trafford. It feels a little bit early to be asking this kind of question, but do you see this man, Ten Hag, as possibly one day being a future King Erik at Old Trafford?
Well, listen, if he has any kind of impact like Erik did, there'll be a huge bonus. He's got a lot of hard work to be done, and listen to the process there. I think he knows that as well. I think he's honest in his appraisal of what's needed here. So he knows that he needs a bit of time as well. But I think everybody at the club and the fans are looking forward to what's in front of us. And I got to say, as I said before, Erik Cantona had a huge impact on Manchester United when he arrived in November '92. We can only hope for the same.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It was seismic. Dennis, thanks for your time this afternoon.